Coming up on BYU basketball with Mark Pope, the Cougars have just played back-to-back ranked teams for the first time ever in the regular season. Now it's red-hot Texas coming to town. And we'll look back and ahead with the coach and Spencer Johnson. Coming up next on BYUtv and ESPN+.
BYU basketball with Mark Pope, presented by Siegfried and Jensen, helping Utah families for over 30 years.
All right. How about this? It is a full house here inside Studio C at BYUtv. Great to have you all. Good evening once again, Cougar Nation. We are in Studio C at the BYU Broadcasting Building on the BYU campus in Provo, Utah. So good to have you with us. We take a weekly look at what's up in the Cougar Hoops program. Our social media hashtag tonight and always is hashtag Pope Show, and we are live and on demand via the BYU TV and BYU radio apps, as well as Big 12 Now on ESPN+. Coming up on tonight's show, we will, among other things, catch up with the Cougs by looking at some standout individual highlights from the last couple of games. Spencer Johnson will be our in-studio guest. We'll have a game night segment for the coach and Spencer, always a popular feature of the show, and the return of studio audience questions in this week's Q&A segment. And we'll also preview a Saturday matinee with the Texas Longhorns. Well, he is one of the most successful young coaches in the game as he approaches his 150-game plateau with BYU. Please welcome in the head coach of your Cougar Hoopsters, Mr. Mark Pope.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
Yep.
Yeah.
You guys are awesome. It feels like we're back in the gym.
It's like a miniature slice of the Marriott Center right here
awesome.
in Studio C.
The best slice. So thank you guys for being here. Very cool.
Very cool indeed. Well, you know, a basketball coach's brain is a busy.
You guys got floor seats.
Yeah, I know. We've had to really find some extra chairs.
Okay, sorry.
No, as I was saying, your brain
Dear heavens.
is a busy place. From your players to your plays to scouting reports to which cool suit to wear on the sidelines on game night. There's a lot for him to consider.
Yes.
And we never know what will be quite on the top of his mind on this show until we ask this question. Take it away.
Why does everyone laugh when that comes on?
It's just, it's a warm, fuzzy laugh is what that is. It's just comforting.
Yes, I can't tell if it's just condescending. I think people come to this show just to see how many stupid things I'm going to say. I love it. Okay, I got a bunch. First, you guys know that we're intimately in, we're working hard with the Dunk on Cancer program. Mm-hmm. So, Greg, I have a gift for you.
Oh, no.
You open that.
Ooh.
So these just dropped at the BYU store. Our partners, they're doing an unbelievable job. And just in case you don't know, Dunk on Cancer is Leanne Pope's organization. Is Leanne over there?
She's right here.
She is. Oh, you're behind the camera today. So is working hand in hand with the Simmons Center for Cancer Research that is doing groundbreaking work. It's incredible, actually, the progress they're making. And so we've done socks, we did hats, and now, like, probably what is going to cure cancer all on its own is the official Dunk on Cancer. Can we call it a Stanley, babe, or is it a knockoff? Oh.
Yeah. It's Stanley-esque. Yeah.
So what happens? Do we get copyright issues if we say it's a... Okay. Regardless,
we're trying to avoid getting into trouble, but it's bound to happen. Yeah, look at this. We got Duo. We got the BYU basketball logo. We have the Dunk on Cancer. And is this legit for me?
Yes, it is.
Oh, wow.
It's a gift for you. It's actually for your beautiful wife.
Either my wife or daughter will have it by the end
exactly.
of the night. But yes, it is great. Comes with a straw. And so we've gone ball cap. We've gone socks. We now have a mug.
Yep. And if you go to BYU bookstore, they're in a corner of the bookstore. And every single cent that you spend on this beyond cost goes to the Simmons Center for Cancer Research, which is just becomes more near and dear to all of our hearts as we have ourselves and family and friends that are fighting this disease. And so if you're looking at buying a quote, quote, knockoff Stanley Cup that's way swaggier than any Stanley Cup you could buy, please head over and do that. We're super grateful for everybody's support. It's awesome.
Is there more to come after we've done? Yes? A sweatshirt is still to come, I guess.
Sweatshirt's the last thing, yes.
Okay.
And I have 2 Stanley Cups for audience members.
And you want to go... you want to go feats of strength for those, I think.
I have no plan, actually, how to decide who's going to get them, so we'll just play it by ear.
By the end of the show, somebody will have these.
And am I allowed to talk about how much am I allowed to elaborate on your incredible work on cancer this year? Can I? Leanne and her team, the whole board, and incredibly generous donors, all working through the Simmons Center, this year alone have raised over $1 million towards cancer research. It's very cool. It's awesome. And Hema, do we have our picture?
Oh yeah, we do. We ran through it. Yeah, we saw it in rehearsal. So we'll bring it up on the big screen. Here we go.
Okay, so just yesterday, this is the Swanson family, Jared and Sarah and Parker and Charlie. They came to shoot around before the game on Tuesday, I guess. And we got to meet them, and they are diehard BYU believers in everything about BYU. And it was super special to have them. And it was actually even more special because yesterday, Jared checked into the hospital. He'll be there for the next several months, fighting a really, really severe form of cancer. So our prayers go out to them. And while I have a captive audience, I'm wondering, we're all touched by this disease. And sometimes I think it's really powerful to speak names. And I don't know if anybody wants to give a shout out to somebody that's fighting right now. Does anybody want to do that? Yes.
Barbara Pappenfuss.
Barbara Pappenfuss, yep. Jill Langston.
Lost Randall,
Zach Jenny.
Darcy Facer.
Darcy Facer, great, in the back.
My mom.
Your mom.
Danielle Cantrell.
Danielle Cantrell.
Sherry Hislop.
Say it one more time.
Sherry Hislop.
Sherry, yes.
Vincent Chung.
Vincent Chung. And the,
Jenny Ingeman.
say it again.
Jenny Ingeman.
Jenny Ingeman. And I know there's so many more guys. But like I said, I'm grateful for everybody's support in this battle. It's clearly near and dear to our hearts, and we're making progress. I had the unbelievable, Coach Rose is my mentor and dear, dear friend, and he was at the game the other night. And had a chance to speak with him, and he continues to make great progress in his health. But it just is, we're all in this together. Like, this is a fight that unites us all, that we're all touched by, and we're all in this together. So thank you guys for being here and sharing that. And please, huge believer in prayer. And so Jared and Sarah and the Swenson family and all the people that named, if you have a second to just include them in your prayers, be super grateful for that. So there we go.
Thank you.
I got more.
I know we got more. In fact, I'm looking at this crowd out here tonight, and I'm reminded of a group of a similar size in a similar type venue. Yeah. We were in Lubbock last Friday night.
Yes.
And the basketball team will have a little practice in the gym night before the game, and you weren't alone.
Yes.
In Lubbock last Friday night.
It's so fun, guys. It wasn't fun. The very end of the game wasn't fun. The first 30 minutes were awesome. And it's so fun to go to these new venues because we get to reach out to BYU faithful all over the country. And so, do we have that picture, Emma?
Yeah.
So the night before the game, we always get in late that evening, and then we'll go into the gym, and we're starting to invite people. And it is awesome. Like, it is really, really fantastic. And just knowing how all around the country, BYU faithful is everywhere, and it's pretty great, man. The best thing about BYU athletics, our little tiny slice of this, is that we get to connect people, and we love it. So that's number 2, and number 3 is I got a story. Okay, but we've been very serious, and I'm gonna get a little lighter. So we are playing against Texas on Saturday, and one of the leading scorer in the country right now, one of the all-time leading scorers in the history of college basketball, is Max Abmas, okay? But his name is spelled A-B-M-A-S. Mm-hmm. And so for the longest time, I've been saying ABMIS because you just read it on paper and it's ABMIS. And that's a little look into the cultural differences that we have to understand. Anybody live or serve a mission in Germany? So you might know that there's 26 letters in the German alphabet, and there's 4 extra letters, and one is like a capital B that actually, I guess, sounds like an S, and I didn't know any of this till this morning. With my crack, we scout everything, guys. So Nate Austin brought this information to us, and he's like, nope, it's ASMIS because it's actually this letter.
Yeah.
And so then, later in the day, I heard an incredible story about Fous Traoré. So Fous is from Bamako, well, from Kati, Mali. And he hasn't been in the States for that long. And this, you can imagine, like going from where he lives, which, you know, could not be, like, you might as well be on the moon, like, compared to being here in the States. And so it's been a big deal for him to learn the culture here. And so just this fall, he went to the mall. It was getting cold, and he's like, I gotta get a jacket. And he found this black jacket that was fitted. You know, Fous is a big, strong, incredibly handsome young man. And he found this jacket, and it was black, and it was kind of fitted, and the collar was kind of up, and it had a logo on the back that he didn't really know what it was. And he got it. And the next day, he walked around campus all day, and he was like, man, everybody was like checking me out and doing double takes and the whole thing on BYU's campus. Now, mind you, Fous, if there was ever an advocate of the BYU standards and the BYU honor code, it is Fous Traoré. Like, to a T, he's a believer. Like, he follows it to a T. But sometimes the cultural difference gets you. And I don't know if we're allowed to show this video. Did Hema get clearance?
Apparently, we did not get clearance for this.
Okay, we're not allowed to show the video. So I'm just going to leave it to your own imagination what the logo was on the back of the jacket. But people were not looking at him because they thought he looked great in the jacket. They were like, are you allowed to wear that on BYU's campus? So we spent about 15 minutes crying in the locker room as this story was shared today. It was beautiful.
That's great.
And that's our guys. That's our life.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yes.
It's a good thing we didn't show the video. I'd probably get fired.
By the way, if I don't do any talking on the show, I don't get paid. So I got to pick it up at some point here tonight. It's funny. By the way, Max Asmus, second time you're playing him, facing him.
Yes.
Your first year when he was playing for Oral Roberts.
Yes.
You got him when he was just a young pup. And now, all these years later, he's approaching 3,000 career points.
Yeah.
Literally, in the history of men's college basketball, Division I level, 2 players have hit 3,000. Pete Maravich and Hersey Hawkins. That is it. Yep. And he's going to be there in a few games.
It's incredible.
We hope he doesn't get there Saturday.
Amen.
That'd be a problem. Because he's quite away. He's like 90 points away.
So call him Asmus, because if we call him Abmis, he's probably going to be mad and take it.
And really, I've seen some games this year, and some broadcasters still do just call him Yeah, Asmus is the word. All right. Wow. We are 1/3 of the way through the Big 12 schedule already. Can you believe it?
Yes.
Yes, you can, because you've had to prep 6 hard times for these games. It already feels like you're longer in. Your thoughts on this league? You knew what it would be. I think it's everything you knew it would be, right?
Guys, there's been moments in every game. I think about moments in Central Florida, which we won, moments at Texas Tech, which we lost, moments at Iowa State, which we won, moments in Houston, which we lost, where I can't help myself. Guys, just Houston, which we ended up losing. You know, there's, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 minutes left, and the Marriott Center, like, it seemed like 18,000 people were on their feet, like, just going crazy, and our guys are battling, like, with their whole hearts and souls, as well as Houston. And the fact that that happens every single night is brilliant to me. I love every second of it. And you know, we're going to love it even more when we're winning more consistently, but I hope you guys are enjoying it too, because we're really blessed to be here. This is awesome, man. It doesn't end. Like, you know, it's just every single game. It's every night. It's really special. 12
of the 14 teams in this league right now are between 4-2 and 2-4. They're within 2 games of each other. And Texas is a great study here. They opened up 1-3 and then boom, boom, back-to-back great wins. They're right back in the mix, and that's how quickly things can turn in this league.
That's right, and you're never going to be out of it, and you're never going to have it locked up. Like, it just is. It's the nature of the league. You know, this Texas team, for example, was a preseason top 10 AP poll team. Their five-man was injured. They had some new people on campus, and then so they struggled a little bit. And all they've done the last 2 games is knock off 2 top 25 teams in a row, one at home, one on the road, and now they're coming to the Marriott Center, and it's unbelievable. It's so great.
And they get 3 and 4. They get 4 consecutive ranked teams because they'll have you on Saturday, then they'll be home to host Houston on Monday. And you're going for the split. And I think we talked about this off the air even, but if you're splitting weeks in the Big 12, you're a really good basketball team.
Yep, that's right. Absolutely.
So hopefully that's the case on Saturday. By the way, next week you'll have your first midweek bye. Texas Tech and Baylor didn't play the weekday game this week. You'll be in that situation next week. So everyone gets these midweeks off, and yours comes next week, right?
Yeah, and we're really excited about it. It's going to come well for us, especially if we can finish this week off with a win.
Because you want to get a little healthy, right? You want to rest some guys up and get them ready for this grueling stretch to come as February gets underway. By the way, what is the plan for you next week with just one game on the weekend? Do you already know what you want to do? Or?
Yeah, we'll go Monday early, twice on Monday. We'll go Tuesday. We'll be off Wednesday, and then start full prep Thursday, Friday.
You already talked about the Marriott Center crowd, but the value of home crowds in this league. I watched Kansas State, Iowa State last night. Names, what a venue, what an environment. And I mean, the crowds in this arena, we've only seen a few, but you already know what you're getting into.
Did anybody see highlights of Kansas State, Iowa State last night? I'm just curious how many people are seeing this. Yeah, some. There's a lot of controversy involved in the game. Anybody familiar with that? Okay, fair enough. Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's stuff going on. Yeah. All right. Let's take a look at what's gone on for BYU. You had a couple games since we last talked. Games this past Saturday and Tuesday. We're going to look into player highlights specifically too. But let's start with Saturday's game at Texas Tech. Highlights presented by Intermountain Health. We'll take a look at some stats too. And this was we want to go show Ali in this one. By the way, electric atmosphere at United Supermarkets Arena.
Yep.
And Ali Khalifa had his best scoring game in a BYU uniform yet.
Yeah, his second half was really remarkable. Him and Dallin kind of developed a really terrific connection out of ball screens, and Ollie was really effective in every aspect of the game. And you know, we put a lot on his shoulders down the stretch for sure. You know, trying to hold off their rally.
Now, due to an injury suffered by Noah Waterman, he was unavailable, and Richie Saunders got his 3rd career start, first of this season. Terrific first half. He had 13 before the break.
Yeah, Richie's been incredible. He's one of the most efficient offensive players in the country, and he's also one of the best rim finishers in the country. He's just been unbelievable. His numbers are incredible, and it was the first time he'd been thrust in the starting lineup since, I think, only one game last year. And he was ready. He found out 2 hours before the game, and he really got us off to a great start. And the guys played an incredible first half.
And these are the final stats from Texas Tech. They come back to win this one in Lubbock. You had an off day Sunday, busy work day Monday to get ready for Tuesday and Houston. #1 metrics team in the country in so many different ways. Top defensive squad in the country nationally by a considerable margin. And they visited BYU Tuesday in a clash of the Cougars. And what a great comeback it was for BYU. Comes up just short. You trail by double digits on 2 occasions in the second half, rallied both times. Let's go to the final few minutes of the game, maybe have you talk us through how this game wrapped up, because you were right there.
Yeah, the most frustrating thing for us down the stretch, you know, they started switching 1 through 5 with about 5 minutes left in the first half, which is not typically what they do, and so we kind of found a groove. Foose made a huge difference in the last 10 minutes of the game, and then every time we get a clean, you know, in the last 10 minutes, every time we get a clean rebound and get out in transition, we had great things happen. We just had such a tough time coming up with clean rebounds. We got a couple unbelievable looks down the stretch, and they just didn't go, and that's just the nature of the game. We have exactly the right guys taking shots, making plays, and that's just part of the deal. There's a lot of controversy. Maybe fans might have opinions about some of the things that went on in the game. Is that you're trying to bait me? Greg's trying to get me in trouble.
I'm saying nothing. You know, I'm just.
and we just came a little short against a great team. And you know what? Here's the thing, guys. Houston did what they do to every team, which is unfortunate because they just destroyed us on the glass the last 7 minutes of the game, where we had so many opportunities. We actually got stops. and we had so many opportunities. We just couldn't come up with the rebound, and it's a place that we'll continue to grow in. They're, probably, in the top 3. I know the numbers put them in the top 10, but they're probably in the top 3 most effective offensive rebounding teams in the country, and they certainly did some work against us.
We're seeing some Noah Waterman highlights, and he had a great game against Houston, and just didn't play on the weekend, made up for lost time against UH. Really big part of what you're able to do against the Cougars from Houston. And Foose is making his way back still from his injury, and he played 10 of the 20 minutes after halftime on Tuesday.
He was great. I'm telling you, it's a little sub story. To sit for 30 minutes in a game and watch, and then be called upon unexpectedly, and to be ready emotionally to come out and play. It's a huge tribute to Foose. He gave us a massive spark off the bench and was really, really important. Of course, Noah had an unbelievable performance.
How would you say Foose is in terms of maybe percentage of what he'd like to be at right now? Is he getting close?
He's doing great. He missed a block-out assignment today in practice, so sometimes when that happens, you get sent on a journey to the very top of the Marriott Center and back, and he made it fine. So I think his hamstrings do better.
that's one way to test it, isn't it? Yeah. All right. So Houston does win that game on Tuesday, and but you know what? 6 games. In every game, leads. You're competing with every team in this very tough conference.
Yep. That's going to be it every night. It's great.
Okay, let's head to break and tell you that your reminder to watch BYU Sports Nation makes your day-to-day Cougar sports play-by-play happen. And it happens with Spencer Linton and Jerem Jordan, weekdays at noon Eastern on BYUtv and BYU Radio. When we come back, we'll bring in Spencer Johnson into Studio C. This is BYU Basketball with Mark Pope. Back after this break. Stay with us.
BYU Basketball with Mark Pope is presented by Siegfried and Jensen, helping Utah families for over 30 years, and Intermountain Health, official medical provider for BYU Athletics.
All right, welcome back to BYU Basketball with Mark Pope here in Studio C. Wonderful crowd here tonight. All right, 8 years ago, he was earning 5A All-State honors at American Fork High School while scoring 20 points per game and helping the Cavemen to the round of 8 in the postseason. After that season, he was off to Italy on a church mission, then stops at Weber State, UVU, and Salt Lake Community College before settling in BYU, where he's been a mainstay for the last 4 seasons. In his final season, we're happy to have him back in Studio C. Please help us bring in Spencer Johnson. All right, so I just aged you because I said your senior season was 8 years ago. How long ago does high school feel to you?
Oh, so long ago. So long.
You're using your COVID year this season, your 5th year. When did you decide that you for sure would be back and playing basketball one more year for BYU?
I don't know. The season ended.
He made me beg.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, the season ended, and my wife and I talked about it. We thought a lot, and we're like, hey, one more year, Big 12, that would be a really cool way to go out. So, yeah.
By the way, shout out to Izzy. She's your wife. You've been
She's
married.
here. Where is she?
Where's Izzy at?
Yeah,
right
there
behind
she
Lee. There we go.
is.
Hi, Izzy. You've been married almost 3 years?
Almost 3 years.
Okay. And big yes. But we have additional applause-worthy news because in a month, you guys are having your first baby,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
Yes. So it's really insensitive to ask this, but are you planning it around games? How's this all going to work out for you?
Tell the whole thing, man. Tell the whole thing. It's complicated.
It's complicated, yeah. So Utah, we have an induction scheduled, but they only let you do it a week before the due date is, right? And that day that the week starts, we take off to Kansas for 6 days. So he either has to come early or late. But if he comes during that week, we'll see what happens.
And Coach is smiling
We
through it all.
have many contingency plans, travel plans. So, Izzy,
The real MVP.
We got Jets on standby. Yeah, well, that's fantastic news. That is so cool. Do you already know if it's a boy or a girl? Are you going to wait and see?
Little boy.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we're actually hoping for a bigger boy, Izzy.
I heard he has a scholarship with
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
You got names, or are you going to wait a little bit on that, not put anything out there?
Yeah, and I think you got to meet him first. So
Okay.
we'll
Do
see.
not
what he is.
say names.
We'll
That's
see.
the biggest.
Cosmo. No.
This is kind of a cool fact, too, about Spencer, is that you have 2 Division I siblings right now, don't you? No, they're at the same school. Tell us what they're doing.
Yeah, so my little brother, little sister, both play at Utah State. Weirdly, they're both taller than me. I'm not the shortest. My older brother's shorter than me, but they're both taller than me, and they're loving it up there.
And Isaac's been starting a lot of games for Utah State,
Yeah.
and Gracie is it's her first year with them.
First year.
Yeah. So she's gotten into a bunch of games. Yeah, it's very, very cool.
I don't know how. I mean, you might be the only brothers at different D1 teams that are both ranked in the top 25.
Could be.
Yeah,
I
in the
bet
poll,
that's
yeah,
actually
that's probably
true.
right,
Probably
yeah.
the only 2 in the country.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
I like that.
And when you say little brother, it's little in age because he's considerably taller.
6'11", 7 foot.
Yeah.
Big dude.
Yeah. You got to play, BYU got to play against Isaac 1 year earlier, a couple years
Yep.
ago. BYU in Oregon, right?
Yeah, we played against them up in Portland at the Trailblazers Arena.
Yeah.
And we smacked them.
Are you laughing because BYU won
No,
by
I
40?
just know he was so happy you brought that up. He's like,
Yeah.
yeah, let's talk about that.
It was his first year back from his mission, so he didn't play a whole ton. But he got in. We got to play against each other. But yeah, we popped him.
Does the name Alexis Yetna mean anything to you?
No.
Alexis Yetna. Alexis Yetna plays for Fairfield, which is another Division I university. He's not played this year because he's injured. Okay, but he's the only guy in Division I older than you.
Really?
Yes. Yeah.
So everyone keeps telling me I'm the oldest.
Yeah,
But,
technically you're the second, but of the guys who've played this year, you're number 1. But there's a dude named Alexis Yetna who's older than you by 2 months.
Okay.
So as soon as he gets on the floor, you lose your distinction. But as for the time being, but I keep telling people he might beat, but you don't look like you look so young. You know, he's fresh-faced, isn't he? He's just a kid out there. Do you wear that as a badge of honor? Do you not like talking about it? Do you care? Is it just one of those cool things?
I was actually joking with some reporters earlier in the week, and they're like, "How does it feel?" And I was like, "Oh man, dream come true. Like it is my little kid dream to be the oldest player in college basketball."
Everyone shoots for that.
Couldn't have gone any better.
And Trevin, I think, is like in the top 10. Like he's up there too.
Yeah.
And he gets one more year as well if he wants it too to
I know.
come back.
We left.
He might be answering your questions next year.
Trev looks much older than Spence, though.
Yeah, clearly.
You can do that without what you'd please. I don't know how to play that.
I think we discussed this last time Spence was on, but you'd recruited him before, I guess is the best way to put it, right?
Yes. Well, the truth is that so I recruited Spence forever. He told me no, and then he told me no again, and then he said, kind of maybe I'll come check it out, and then was like no again, and then he was fine, and everything was fine, and then he met Izzy, and his whole life changed, and he became a basketball star. Like that's really true, isn't that really true? I mean, that's really true. So thank you, Izzy.
Yes.
You said it'd be cool to kind of go out in the Big 12 season, and you're now 6 games into a Big 12 schedule. Your thoughts on being in this league and how it's making maybe everyone on BYU just be better, play better, and be more competitive because it's just so competitive.
Yeah, it is awesome. As a competitor, as a basketball player, all of the games you see on TV are like Big 12, top 25 games. So to be out there playing against these guys, to be seeing it, like, it's so fun. So fun to play against this type of competition.
You got to be a part of BYU's first Big 12 home win 9 days ago against Iowa State at the Marriott Center. You scored 28 points, one of your best games as a Cougar. Just maybe thoughts on getting that win, how big it was for this team to get to do it in front of the home fans too.
Yeah, I mean, we always want to protect our home court. We talk about that all the time. This Marriott Center is really, really special to us. So to go get a win like that, against a really, really good defensive team, and it was awesome.
Spencer's a really, really good defensive player, too, isn't he? Maybe you could talk about him as a defender.
Yeah, he's got uncanny closing speed. It's unbelievable. He's as good as anybody in our league, probably at chasing guys off screens and kind of finding a way to weave through things and be there on the catch. And he's got a really great, his closing speed allows him to be disruptive and make positive plays, like game-changing plays on the defensive end. He's been terrific that way. The change in the charge block rules has taken away one of his go-to defensive specialties, but he's been a mainstay for us for forever now.
You still do pregame speeches, right, with your guys? Have you had one or two this year?
I've had one, yeah.
Yeah? What's a Spencer Johnson pregame speech like, Coach Pope?
Spencer is exactly what you'd expect. He is even-keeled and solid and unflappable, and then he'll just give you a little bit more emotion than you anticipate, and it's pretty beautiful.
When it's time for when you know you're going to have that, what goes through your mind? Like, what do you kind of turn to? What do you want to?
On the pregame speech?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Everyone is so different. Like, every speech that each guy does is so different. So, I don't know. Just stay true to who I am.
I'm actually not in charge of the pregame speeches anymore. Eagle is now. So Tanner Hayers is taking over. And for the first time ever, he had Melvin Goins give the pregame speech.
One of our GAs.
How good was that?
It was way good. He was quoting scripture. He was giving us quotes from famous
Yeah, he was good.
people in history. Like, he crushed it.
Yeah, maybe at some point we'll get Mel and the GAs on the show. Hopefully we do at some point. But that's actually a great point you bring up, because Melvin, I guess I'm old enough that I remember Melvin as a player.
Yeah.
And he was a heck of a player at Tennessee. How did you end up getting Mel to come to BYU and help as a GA, by the way?
Well, we that's a long story. We're just excited to have him. We're really glad to have him here.
What does he do for you guys, Spence? What's his involvement? Because now that you brought him up, he's such a cool part of the team.
Oh, yeah, he is super cool. I mean, so he runs scout for us. He'll run the scout team.
Talks a ton of smack.
Yeah.
Still has enough game left,
He's
obviously.
super shifty with the ball, man. That dude he's still got it. On the sidelines, he gets our bench going. So if you see us in the game, our bench will be, doing chants or whatever, and he gets that going. And he's always just chirping in guys' ears like, hey, this is what I'm seeing out here. This is what you should do, stuff like that. So he's super valuable.
Okay, you've had so many special nights in the building, and even though this last game against Houston wasn't a win, that was Marriott Center magic, right? The vibe you felt had to be in the second half, right?
Totally. We talked about that as a team when we're like, it was disappointing that we lost to Houston, but we were down, double digits multiple times, and we came back, and we fell back again, and we came back. So, to play against statistically the #1 team in the nation like that and give ourselves like so many chances to win is really encouraging. Like, we were balling.
Two of the very best defensive teams in the country are Iowa State and Houston. I mean, TJ Otzelberger, since he's been there, had never allowed 87 in a game. You guys scored that.
Yeah.
And the 68 you got against, that's the most they've allowed in a game this season. 25 field goals is more by 3 than they've allowed in the game this season. You've played really, really good teams and kind of done a lot of what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
Even though it's a split in those 2 games, how encouraging is that, we can play these really, really tough teams and still be us?
Yeah, it's super encouraging because we're right there. I mean, we had a couple chances to really take control of that game and to take a lead. The shots didn't go down or whatever, but we're right there, and that's super encouraging.
Would you pick out a highlight or 2 of the season so far? There's more to come, big games to come. But what would you say has been kind of things that stick with you so far this year?
Just our resiliency. We knew coming into this Big 12 that it was going to be really tough, that we were going to win some games and we were going to lose some games, and just we have to stick together through the whole thing. So that has been super fun to just be like, how are guys going to bounce back, and how are we going to stay together and keep the mood good and positive? So just some stuff like that. And then maybe as far as a game, the win against San Diego State at home was pretty fun. That was a fun one.
Early in the year. And another highlight hopefully comes up Saturday, tough Texas team coming to town.
Yeah.
They look good having won back-to-back games. And who doesn't look good right now in the Big 12, right?
Seriously, it's going to be a battle.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back with Spencer and Coach. Game time with the 2 of these coming up as BYU basketball with Mark Pope continues. Stick with us here on BYU TV. Back on BYU basketball with Mark Pope, presented by Siegfried and Jensen, helping Utah families for over 30 years. All right, it's game night here on the show. Everyone knows we do this every week on the program. And we're doing this particular game tonight because of something we found
Okay.
on your LinkedIn profile.
My LinkedIn.
Now, let's take a look at what this
Right.
says here. It says Spencer Johnson on LinkedIn, licensed realtor
True.
in Utah. Is this accurate?
It is.
You are licensed to do what?
Buy and sell, facilitate properties, houses, commercial buildings, whole deal.
Is that going to be your next life when you're done playing basketball?
It could be. Yeah, it's definitely part of it.
Okay, well, inspired by that,
Wait, is anybody in here interested in selling or buying a house right now? I
this
got
could
your
be
guy
your
right
guy.
back here in the corner. Let's go.
In the
Okay.
NIL era,
Yes,
I mean,
there we go.
everything's fair game. All right, we are going to play, in celebration of this fact, we're going to play what we're calling the CASA Cost Challenge.
All right.
We will
Yes.
show you and Coach Pope some recent home listings across the country. You have to guess the listing price of the home without going over. And all of tonight's homes are selected from the social media account Zillow Gone Wild. Are you ready? These are crazy houses.
You ready for this?
You ready? Here we go. The first one we're going to see is actually local. It's in North Salt Lake, Utah. And the nickname of this is called the Onion House for obvious reasons. This is in North Salt Lake, 5 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 2,846 square feet on 1/4 of an acre. What would be the list price for this home in North Salt Lake, Utah? This is the CASA Cost Challenge. They've got their whiteboards. They're going to write their suggested price.
Is this what I think it would cost or what I'd be willing to pay?
Yeah, I think it's what you think somebody would have listed this for.
Okay.
Yeah. Ideally without going over. Round numbers are great. All right, Spencer, what do you got?
Oh, okay. We're in the right ballpark.
560.
Wow. And the right answer on this is $559,000. Come on. Come on.
Yes. Yes. Woo. If I get all these right, I should get an honorary realtor's
Yeah,
license.
so this is why he's licensed.
Hey, you
folks.
might think about Spencer, but you should come to me.
There you go. All right, this next one is a little misleading because we're not going to see a lot of it. This is in Missouri, Polo, Missouri. It's a 10,000 square foot underground bunker.
Wow.
All we're seeing the above ground stuff. Okay, you see a little bit of the underground, but this is a place that's 10,000 square feet underground bunker. There's a gym, a music studio, and of course a water filtration system. And what you have to have 3,000-pound blast doors, what they're called.
Wow.
So you're not seeing a lot of it.
Wow.
It's underground. It's 10,000 square feet, so it's massive. It's called the Bunker House. What would this list for in Missouri? It's an underground bunker. We presume it's going to help you survive anything and everything in the years to come.
This is a little tougher.
Who would buy this house?
Yeah, it's not me.
Wow. I got a lot of takers.
The kids.
I got
are
a lot of doomsday people in here,
It's
right?
like a fort.
Yes.
All right, Spencer, you there?
Yeah.
Okay, Spencer, what do you think?
I said 600.
600,000, 1 million, and this one goes to Coach Pope because unbelievably it's $2 million. Again, we're not seeing a lot of it, but it's under there.
That's a niche market for sure.
Has it ever sold?
Probably not. I think it's available today.
Hey, we had
actually.
enough people. If you guys each went in for $100,000, we could get this done.
Get this done. All right, number 3 is called the Ant Hill House for obvious reasons. This is in Joshua Tree, California.
It's ostrich.
You're on 2 acres of desert. It's 5 bedrooms, 3 baths, 1,339 square feet. Again, 2 acres of land in Joshua Tree. It's called the Ant Hill House, a little funky. It's California, so it's not going to be cheap.
Where is Joshua Tree? Where is it?
It's out in the middle of nowhere, right? Maybe
Palm
like 29
Springs?
Palms.
So it really is the middle of nowhere.
It's like within like an hour of Palm Springs, probably, right? Yeah.
Oh.
Called the Ant Hill House. California desert living at its finest.
I'm not going to lie. I would not pay this much for it.
But what's your guess, Spencer?
I said 1.2.
1.2 mil. And you're going what?
500.
Half a mil? And this one will go to Spencer. We're going to 1.8 on this one.
Wow.
1.8 for the Ant Hill House.
California.
First of all, like, this is weird
Welcome to the Pope Show.
and fantastic, though. I love it.
This is not
Okay.
your everyday coach's show.
right.
Never has been, never will be. All right. Home number 4 is called the River House. It's located in Missouri. This is gorgeous.
Let's go.
3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms on 1.8 acres on the water. It features a 2-boat garage, not a 2-car garage, a 2-boat garage. It's on the Detroit River in Grosse Ile, Michigan. It's called the River House.
This is in Michigan?
It is in Michigan.
I love that carpet. It's
The
yellow-
Detroit River.
yellow
Yeah,
carpet.
that's
And again,
That's nice.
you are boating into the garage here.
that is not nice.
This could be yours for the tidy sum of, what are they thinking here?
Woo.
Let's go with Coach Pope first. He says $3.5 million.
3.5. I said 8.
And oh my gosh, the answer here, $800,000.
Hey.
The maestro.
Hey.
Izzy's feeling more confident about your future with every guess here.
Yes.
She's like, we're going to be okay, whatever we do. All right, home number 5 here is called the Pink House.
Oh, man.
And again, there's no mystery as to why it's called the Pink House. This is in Wisconsin, Hudson, Wisconsin. 7 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, more than 6,000 square feet. There is a Barbie theme involved,
Do you get to keep all the decor?
whether you want to or not. I think it
flamingos?
comes.
Included in the price.
Yeah.
Where is it?
This is in a place called Hudson, Wisconsin.
Oh, man.
Anybody know Hudson, Wisconsin? Nope. Okay.
Barbie-themed pink house, 7 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, and a lot of square feet, almost 7,000 square feet. This is Wisconsin. So it's America's Dairyland. It's the heartland.
Any guesses? I need a guess. 1.8? Guys, this is in the middle of nowhere. 2 million?
Whatever.
750? Okay.
Close. We're close.
Coach Pope's going 600K. You're going 700K. This one's going to go to Spencer as well, but it's more than a mil. 1.1. 1.1. Different strokes.
That's a lot of pink paint.
The price went up with the new Barbie.
This next one is in Santa Barbara, California.
Oh, man.
It's called the Hobbit House. Ooh. It's on only a half an acre, not a lot of room, 3 bedrooms and a 3/4 bath, 2,600 square feet.
How close to the beach are we talking?
I don't
Do
know.
you know?
It's yeah, I don't know. It doesn't tell us that.
I know there's a lot of kids in here that would buy this house. Is there any adults that would?
But there's
There are a couple adults.
a
okay.
lazy river feature as part of the home. So there's a water feature involved here. There's a lot of good water there. So it's if you look up, you get a better look, Spence, behind you. There you can see a better,
Santa
larger
Barbara.
view. There's a lot of stuff going on there.
Okay.
So it's pretty funky.
Wow, Santa Barbara is the most
Yeah,
most expensive real estate
one
in
of
the
the
world.
most expensive counties in America. So
Okay.
just a couple more. All right, this one's called the Hobbit House.
Nice.
Coach Pope's going 3 million. Spencer is at 2.1, and this one's going to go to Coach 3.25.
There we go.
3.25 for the Hobbit House.
I know my hobbits.
We stay in California on the CASA Cost Challenge for what they call the
It's never ending.
they call the saxophone house. What does the saxophone house look like? Look at that.
Wow.
It's got stuff. So this is in
like a
Berkeley.
riverboat.
This is in Berkeley. This is on against the hill in Berkeley.
Okay.
6 bedrooms, 5 baths, 4,000 square feet. The saxophone house in Berkeley, California. Again, pricey real estate there, but that's what you're looking at. There's a This is our second to last offering, by the way. Coach Pope's going 4.5. You're going 7.5, and you guys can save a lot of money because it's yours for only 1.997,
Wow.
under 2 on this one.
Berkeley.
It's a steal.
It's a total steal.
steal.
It's a steal at $2 million.
Foundation must be cracking.
Okay, our last offering for you, our final house on the CASA Cost Challenge, called the Island House in Sneads Ferry, North Carolina. On the water, 5 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, 4,500 square feet, and you're on a 4.39 acre island.
Babe,
You're on
Lee,
an
how
island.
good is that? Yes? Oof.
They just found a retirement home. There you
Wow.
go. All right,
Oh, man.
Where is this?
This is in North Carolina.
Where?
I got to think it's off the coast of North Carolina.
Well, there we go.
Thank you very much.
All right. I think I'm over.
Sneed's Ferry. Sneed's Ferry is the township.
Yeah, okay. Sneed's Ferry. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Spencer, you got one?
Everything about that.
Yeah.
All right, Coach Pope, what do you think? He's going 5, 3, and this one, although you did go over, you'd have it at 2.4.
Oh,
$2.4 million.
That's not bad.
Ladies and gentlemen, our first CASA Cost challenger on the Pope Show tonight. When we come back, we will have live studio audience Q&A from you all for these two. Stay with us on BYU Basketball. Mark Pope, return.
BYU Basketball with Mark Pope is presented by Siegfried and Jensen, helping Utah families for over 30 years. Octo Health, decode your DNA, design your destiny. And Ken Garth, we hear you.
Yes.
Welcome back to BYU Basketball with Mark Pope. We're bringing back in-studio Q&A today, presented by Ken Garth. We hear you. We got a mic right over here. We got people right over here. We got questions for Coach and/or Spencer Johnson. And let's kick it off with Amy. Hi, Amy.
Hi.
You got the guys.
Okay, so this is a question for my 12-year-old son,
Nice.
Jordan, who loves basketball. What advice do you have for a 12-year-old who really wants to play basketball in college?
Great.
Work hard. Work really, really hard. That is like no substitute for that.
Practice.
First thing I would say is that you named him exactly correctly. Okay, so that's a good head start. And then the second thing is, like, if he can fall in love with this game and fall in love with being on a team, that's probably the biggest step just to grow his passion for this. Because if you can love it, then you'll endure a lot to do it. So good luck, Jordan.
Amy, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Next.
Are you a Swiftie?
Hold on, you gotta tell us your name first. Tell us your name.
I'm Eli Gifford.
Eli, yes.
Are you guys Swifties?
You go first. And tell the truth.
I have become a little bit more since I've been married.
Okay.
And I am unabashedly a die-hard, lifelong, fostered by my 4 daughters, Taylor Swift fan. Love it.
You've seen her live.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
All right, what's your name?
I'm Sadie. I'm his niece.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
what do you got?
And I actually called Mom for this question. I was like, Mom, which question should we ask your brother? She said, what coach did you have that inspired you the most? And then I was like, okay, and we'll add to that. What is it that they did or said that inspired you? And I want this question to be to Spencer, too.
Go,
both of you
Spence.
guys.
You go first. There's a lot of pressure on Spencer. He doesn't really have an option.
Coach Pope, come on. No, I mean, just the way he inspires people, the way he has a passion for this game is really contagious. And it's contagious to all of us as players. And, you know, when your coach has that, you have no choice but to come in every day and just be like, let's go.
Coach?
It's so hard because I've been blessed with like the greatest mentors and coaches ever. Coach Pitino has come out with some quotes in public the last few days that have just made my heart, you know, just remember. But Rich Belcher was my high school coach, and he was the one that started me on this path, and I will love him forever because he was just about growing people, man. He just grows people, and he's really special to me.
All right, thank you guys for the questions. I
question.
think we got to fly. Let's get to the end of our segment with our and one trivia question. Here's our trivia question. In BYU's last game against Texas more than 10 years ago in Kansas City, this player had the game-winning jump shot and game-sealing free throws in an 86-82 victory. Who was it? The answer is next. Stay with us. You see it right there. 10 years ago, BYU and Texas played. This player had the game-winning jump shot and the game-sealing free throws. Who was it? It was Tyler Haas.
Hey, I hope one of you at least said it was my name. Can't be forgotten that quickly. Remember a lot about that game. hard-fought battle, really close down the stretch. Eric Mika and I kind of played hot potato there for a second, and it was able to hit that 1 foot runner in the corner. So glad we walked away with that win. We needed that win that season. So fun. It's funny, I do remember working on shots like that with Coach Pope. Working on these one-footed, off-balance runners, just trusting your shot, owning it, and fortunately was able to get that one to go. So, hey, love watching you guys play this season. Love all these Big 12 battles. So fun. Keep it going.
All right, in our final
awesome.
10 seconds, all we can say is we hope for more of that kind of magic this weekend against Texas.
Let's go.
Spencer, thank you. Coach Pope, thank you. Folks, thank you all.
Thanks, guys.